चाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगत् गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुदेवो महेश्वर गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सवीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्युर्मामृतं गमय। ओम शांति शांति शांति। Okay, let's take recite first and then do meditation, right? Krish, open the book, chapter 2, slok 55 to 72. Okay, you both are ready, guys? Rehan, Alia, you guys are good? Thumbs up. Chapter 2, verse 55 to 72. Okay, ready? Sure. You guys ready? Got it?
Yeah.
Thumbs up. Okay, awesome. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan atmanyevatmana tushta sita pranya sadochyate dukkeshu nudvignamana sukheshu vigataspra nitaraga bhaya krodha Sita dirmudiruchyate yatharva tadabhisnehas tat pyapya shubha shubham nabhinandati nadveshti tasya prajna pratishtita yada samharate chayam kurmonyaniva sarvasha indriyanindriyatevyas tasya prajna pratishtita Vishaya vanavartante niraharasya dehina vasavarjam vasopyasya param drishtva nivartate yatato hyapikonteya purushasya vipaschita indriyani pramatini haranti pasabhammana tani sarvani sanyamya yukta asita matpara vasehi yasyendriyani tasya prajna pratishtita dhyayato vishayan bhumsha sangaseshu pajayate sangat sanjayate kamam kamat krodho bijayate krodhat bhavati sammoham sammohat smriti vibhrama smriti vibhamshat buddhinasho buddhinashat pranashyati ragadvesha vimuktestu vishayanindriyescha atmadekshi videyatma prasadam adhigacchati prasade devadukkanam hanirasobhajayate prasanna chetaso hyasu buddhi paryapatishtita
Nasti
buddhyan ayuktasya na cha ayuktasya bhavana na cha bhavayata shantir asantasya kuta sukham indriyanam hicharatam yadmano nuvidiyate tadasya harati prajnam vayurnavam vivambasi tasmad yasya mahabaho nigrahitani sarvasha indriyanindriyartebhyas tasya prajna pratishtita yanisha sarvabhutana tasyam jagrati samyami, yasyam jagrati bhutani, sa nisha pashyato mune, apuryamanam vachalam pratishtam, samudamapa pravishanti yadva, tadvat kamaya pravishanti sarve, shanti mamnoti nakamakami, vihaya kamanya sarvan pumanscharati nisraha, nirmamo nirahankara, shanti madhigachati, esha brahma sthiti partha, Nainam prapya vibhuyati, sthitvasyam manattakalepi, brahma nirvana mricchati.
Okay. For next week, I think this thing, you, Reha and Alia, you guys do it. I will send you which slok you have to read, each of you guys. Okay? Okay, let's go.
Sounds good.
Awesome. And let's go to our chapter 6. But before we start it, let's do the meditation. You guys ready? Let's do. Yeah, don't take the, you too young to take the back thing. Okay, come on, that's okay. Don't take the break. Don't lean on the walls, guys. Come on. Okay, let's do it. We're gonna do pranayam first and then go into meditation, right? So let's do our mudra first, left hand in this mudra, and we will put it on the lap, and then we put two fingers on our forehead. We close our left nostril. We take deep breath from the right nostril and then take it out. You can do whichever hand you are comfortable with. Okay, ready? We're gonna do 10 to 15. Wherever we can stop, we will stop. Okay. Keep your eyes closed. Again, we will go in our mind, and all the thoughts that are coming in our mind right now are the flowers in a garden. All positive thoughts are garden flowers. All negative thoughts are the weeds. So the first thing we do, throw all the weeds away. Now out of this positive thoughts, all the beautiful flowers that we have in our mind, we pick one beautiful flower and put our deity, our Ishtadevata, on that flower. Place that flower with the God sitting on it in our heart. And look at that flower and the God sitting on it. Concentrate on that image. Leave all your worries, all your tensions in the feet of that Lord that's sitting in your heart. Just relax. If your mind is running around from that image, as soon as you realize, bring it back to that image. How did you guys feel it? Did you feel to continue? Huh? Did you feel to continue it, or you were like, okay, it's too long? Continue it? The piece, right? But the mind goes around too, right? It's not easy to control it. So, okay, from the last class. So we were talking about shlok number 25th on chapter 6th, right? That's where we were. So God has given, what happened? And you can tell I can laugh too. If you don't want to share, then don't laugh. Okay. If you guys don't want to share it, then don't laugh at it. Otherwise, you have to make everybody laugh. Okay. Go get me a glass of water so you can break the laugh. Come on, go get it. Okay. So, chapter number 6. And what are we doing? Shlok number 25th, right? So, we were talking about shane, gradually, right? So, we were talking about gradually. Let one withdraw. So we are upare mein means let it withdraw. What are they withdrawing? By intellect. By intellect, and then it says withdraw their desires, like the external world, right? By the intellect. That's what we were talking about. We were there. How by the intellect we withdraw from the outside world. So they are giving you tricks how to withdraw from external world while doing the meditation. So this is kind of a little bit advanced than what we are doing already, right? We are doing a little bit, but we are actually doing, this is more advanced than what we are doing. So here it's saying that you go a little bit more advanced than, so God gave you, so far He told you about how to sit, what to do, what to think, how to, what we should be doing, what should be taking away the desires and stuff like that. Now He is saying that you do, by the intellect, you break that, you withdraw from outside world. So by the intellect, we talk about what are the tools by the intellect He is talking about. So one tool was Drig Drishya Vivek, which we talk about it last week, right? Do you guys remember? So Drig Drishya Vivek, where eyes was the knower, and what was the scene? When eyes was the knower, what was the scene? No, so eyes is the knower. What is the scene? The world is the scene, right? We see the world from the eyes. So eye is the knower and the world is the scene. So when eye is the scene, what is the knower? Who is the knower?
The mind.
The mind is the knower, right? And when the mind is the scene, who is the knower?
The Sakshi.
Yeah. Who is the Sakshi? That's true.
The people.
The Sakshi is the consciousness, right? So the mind is, so inside we kept going subtler and subtler from the gross and try to figure out what are we, right? So when you study that, you get to feel like there are two things, right? Knower and the thing that is known to, right? The object and the subject. So that becomes two. But when we talk about Advait says one, right? Everything is one. But when we read Drigdishya Vivek, which we did last week, it comes out to the conclusion that there are two things. One is the object, the other one is the subject, right? So why it is like that? I would tell you that for us to know Advait, we have to know these two separate things. First, we separate them out, then we bring it back. So this is the first stage of Advait that we need to figure it out. That there are two separate things, know and knower of the things, right? So object and subject, we talk about that. So keep that in mind. When we bring it back, you will understand that how we separate it and then bring it back. So right now, when we talk about Digdeshya Viveka, it brings the duality, right? There are two things. Now we did non-duality, we will bring it back together in the same concept. But so by intellect you figure out that what are you, what is the self. That's what we have to concentrate on. So meditation is done on the self. So what we are doing right now is we are actually using an object. Object means a god murti or a rose, and we are controlling our mind, our thoughts, right? We are trying to control that and concentrate on an object. That's what we are doing. But in this, what he is going to be saying is move forward from there, go beyond that, go beyond the thought and concentrating on an object. You go beyond that and start concentrating on self, which is not an object, right? So that's where he is telling the same thing we talk about when we talk about panchakosha, right? The 5 teeth. You guys remember that class?
Yeah.
What was this, Nanu?
Huh?
What was that?
Is it my birthday?
Panchakosha Viveka, what was it?
How long ago was it?
Long ago. I think initially we talked about it. Do you remember? 5 sheets. So our Upanishads, actually when we ask, the student asks, okay, so you are saying concentrate on self. What is self? When we ask you, anybody asks you, who are you? What do you say? The first thing that comes in your mind. This is me, right?
Oh, it's the wait.
It's long back, Raja. When initially we
I touched
started.
on the truth, consciousness, happiness, bliss.
It is beyond. So let's come. So any teacher, when they teaches you, you go from known to unknown, right? If you don't know anything, teacher starts from a known and then go to the unknowns, right? So that's what we're going to be doing, and that's what Upanishad did with us, right? How did they teach us? Like he asked you, who are you? Who is the self, right? So the first answer comes up about yourself is what? I'm this, right? This body, right? I'm in this body. I'm this person who is right here, right? That's what myself is, right? So then what is this? The first when the body comes, then we talk about Krishu. Don't worry about taking notes, just concentrate on it right now. What I'm saying, you know what this is. You already have notes on this because I had an elaborated class on this one.
When?
5 sheets long back, and you know that if when I say the name you will get it.
That's not what I'm taking notes on.
Okay, so don't take notes of last class too. That can be done after the class. Yes, no, you cannot disturb here. Okay, so what happens is concentrate here, na Raja? So the first thing you say that this is me, right? So what do you say? This is me, my body is me. So then becomes like, what do you recognize yourself as? This body, right? But then Shastra said in our scriptures, in our Upanishad, it says body is the one that gives, that's you, right? So then Shastra starts with, okay, body is you, because that's what the answer gets it. Then he starts saying why you are not the body. So what does he say? That this body, again, we did this whole show on this one. The first natak we did in Gita class was on this, right? So the body is, you go from little baby to old man, right? The body change, your eyes change, your eyesight change, your bones get weaker or stronger. Initially it gets stronger, then weaker. So your body keep changing. You were a little baby and then you became like 6 feet tall guy, then you became old, then you became, you die. So the whole body keep changing, right? So the body is changing. Are you changing? Are you guys changing? You don't change, right? You don't say that, oh, I'm a new person. That person who was the baby was not me. So body change, you didn't change, right? Then you can see the body, right? Body is an object for you. My hand, this is an object for me, right? I can see the body. Can body see me back? The hand seeing me? That's not what we say, right? So the body is an object. There is a subject, right? Which we don't know right now. Then we're going to keep peeling off and see who is the subject here, right? Then when we talk about law of karma in our Hindu religion, we talk about law of karma. So when we are born because of a cause, right? There is a cause and there is a result. So there was a cause for our birth, right? So that says that before this body came in birth, there was already something before it, right? And when we die, there is something after that, right? So if law of karma works, then it is not that with this body I start and with this body I finish. It's not that, right? So it has done with this body. Before this body there was something, and after this body there is something, right? So I did not start with this body and I did not finish with this body, right? So that's why we say, oh, I have done something in the past, that's why I got that much. I had done something good in past, so that's why I got so much wisdom, or so much money, or so much this thing, right? I might have done something bad, that's why I'm so miserable. So kind of that thing that we talk about, that there is something beyond this body. It was there before and it was there after. So then Shastra says, then you cannot be body, right? Because there is something beyond you. There is something, you are an object, so there is a subject that we need to look for it. And the body is changing where you are not changing. So what is there, right? So then they go a little bit subtler. And what does it say? Oh, could be this breathing, the life forces that we have, that could be us, right? So Shastra says, okay, that could be you. The breathing that we are doing, the heart that is beating in us, the blood that is circulating in us, the all these force that is in our life, like the temperature that is maintained in our, so that might be us, right? Now, with that said, that when you breathe, the breathing change, don't they change? Sometimes you are healthy, sometimes you are sick, right? So that same life forces can be sick, and same life forces can be healthy, right? So that is, it keeps changing, right? Then the energy, sometimes you have a lot of energy, sometimes you don't have energy, right? If you are that, when you have a low energy, do you say that's not me? When you have high energy, do you say that's not me? Right? You still say that's me. With the low energy also it's me, with the high energy also it's me, right? When I was sick, it was me. When I was healthy, that's me. So the life forces keep on changing, right? When I have a high blood pressure, that's me too. When I have a low blood pressure, that's me too, right? So the me did not change, even though life forces varies, right? So that cannot be you. There is something else. So life forces changes. Then life forces you can measure, you can see. When you are breathing, you can feel it, right? So that cannot be the object. That cannot be the subject. That is an object then for you, right? So there is something else beyond it, right? That changes. Then the life forces are not have, what do you say, that they are not, what do you say when they are not living, right? Like body is not living object, like existence doesn't depend on the body, right? When you die, the existence goes away, right? The body is still there. So the existence is not body. The living thing is not the body. There is something else that's making this body live, right? Otherwise it's non-living, right? The same way the life forces are non-living, that something is giving the energy, the light, or the life to these life forces. That's living, that's in existence, right? So that cannot be the one that we are, right? So then let's say, okay, so we figured it out that we are not life forces either, right? So let's go one step more subtle, like go in, right? So now we went and see, okay, let's say our thoughts, that could be us, right? That's me, that's my personality. Most of us, when you say who are you, we start saying, okay, if you ask a little kid who is going in first grade, you say, okay, give an introduction. What do they say? I am this, I am in second grade, my hobbies are this, right? Or I love to do this, or I do. So that's their introduction. So more and more we define ourselves as what we think, what's our thought processes, right? So the mind, that's what we are, right? Okay, so Upanishad say, okay, you are the mind then Upanishad again questions it, debates it. So you are the mind, if you are the mind, then it should not be changing, right? But does the thought changes? One day I am very happy, the next day I am very sad. Oh, I'm feeling so depressed. I'm feeling so happy today, right? So my thoughts change. Today I want to become a doctor, but tomorrow I want to become a computer engineer. Or day after tomorrow I want to play some game, and then day after tomorrow I want to play some other game. Or hey, I want to go to do this thing today, I will not do that same thing tomorrow. So the thoughts keep changing, memories keep changing, right? So then, do you think when I was very happy, that was me, but when I'm very sad, that's not me? We cannot say that, right? So then we are not that either, right? Now thoughts, when it comes, you can experience it, right? Can you experience the thought coming and going? Different thoughts coming and going, you can experience that, right? So there is an experiencer of these thoughts, right? So then there is something else who is experiencing. So the thought is an object for this experiencer, right? So there is a subject. It's not any subject. The thoughts are not the subject. The memory, the thoughts are not the subject anymore. You got it? So now the thoughts are not me. They are not living, right? That's experiencer, the knower of the thought, that's living, that's in existence. But the thought itself is not living, right? You got it? So now we get to say that we cannot define ourselves as a thoughts, as our personality, right? That's not us either. Okay, then Upanishad says, okay, let's go a little bit more deeper. So there is another line of intellect, right? So let's go a little deeper, which is another line of mind, right? The thoughts, the intellect, the decision making power, right? So let's say, okay, we can be that. Okay, my buddhi, my mind, my intellect is the one that defines me. That's what I am, right? I am very smart, or I'm very weak, or I'm very not smart, I'm fool, I'm dumb. That's me. Okay. So let's say that in some places, again it keeps changing, right? Can you define yourself as your intellect? In IQ exams you can, but can you define yourself as an intellect? You cannot, right? So you cannot be an intellect. Why? Again, you can experience your intelligence. You can experience it. So some person, you, who can experience all these intellectual decisions that you are making. You got it? Again, the intellectual decisions that you are making is not living, right? And it keep changing, right? So if it is keep changing, it is not real, it is an object, not subject, then how can it be you? So same point, same analogy, right? So we are not that either. Now let's say the next subtle point. What it will be? We go to deeper, right? Then what happens, let's say in the deep sleep, right? When we are having a deep sleep, at that time there is no mind, right? We are not thinking, there is no thought process going on, the mind is not working anymore. We don't make any intellectual decision at that time, right? We don't even know our body. We can sleep in our bed, and when we are in deep sleep, we don't even know where we are sleeping, right? Do we have a body? That also we don't even know, right? So we don't even know when we go to sleep. When we are in deep sleep, there is no body, no mind, no intellect, Are we breathing? Our vital organs are working or not? We don't even have that. So we don't have the vital life forces also, right? But when we wake up, do we feel that we had a good sleep? So there is something that experiencing, right? There is no body, no mind, no intellect, nothing is experiencing, but there is something that experienced that deep sleep, that bliss that you got from the sleep, that is experienced, right? That happiness was experienced in the deep sleep. In Buddhism, they say emptiness. There is nothing. There is shunyavad. Shunya means zero. So there is nothing. We say in Hinduism that that's the consciousness, that's the Atma, right? That experiences the whole entire thing. That's the light that illuminates everything, right? So now we are not talking about that, okay, here the body is, here all the thoughts are here, that things are, and everything is, this subject is separate and all these objects are separate, and this subject is making this existence of all these things, right? We are not saying the subject and object are separate. In this, what is it saying? The subject is the one that illuminates all the objects, right? In the subject, there is body. In the subject, there is mind. In the subject, there is intellect. In the subject, there is all vital forces. Got my point? Right? So there isn't subject, there is a self. If we define the self, how will we define here? Because there is no characteristics after that, right? When you go after the deep sleep, right? So we did the deep sleep. After the deep sleep, can you explain the subject? Because it's not an object, so you cannot explain it, right? It's a subject, so you cannot further explain it, because now we end up with only the subject. An object have all the characteristics, subject doesn't have it, right? So now you cannot tell the subject what to do. So let's say this is the hand, right? So hand anatomically is the body, right? So this hand is your body. Then if I want the energy to lift the hand, is the vital force, right? Life forces. Then that's my mind who says, okay, I want to move the hand, right? The intellect says that, okay, this is how I'm going to move with this angle, and I'm going to pull it up, right? So that's the intellect. Then the happiness, the bliss that I got after moving this hand is the deep sleep version of it, right? So all these things happen, but none of them are the subject. They all were object, and they were experienced by the subject. Got it? Got the whole example? So these 5 kosha that we already studied before, these 5 sheets are, first is when we talk about the body, it is Annamaya kosha, right? Annamaya means, Anna means food, right? So one scientist says that our body is rearranged dish of food, right? So the body is all what we eat, what we drink, that's what our body is, Annamaya kosha. So this food that makes this body is not us, right? The second was what? Anybody can remember? Life forces, right? So that is Pranamaya kosha. Prana means life, right? So Pranamaya kosha. We are not that either. We cannot define ourselves like that. Then it becomes the third one. What is the third one? What is the third one? Manomaya kosha. Mind. Manomaya kosha. So mind. That's not us. Then intellect, which is, what is it? Anybody remember? Krish, you remember? Vijnanamaya kosha, right? So that's Vijnanamaya kosha, that's not us. Then the last one that we saw, that in deep sleep, That one, the bliss, the Anandamaya Kosha, we are not that either, right? So all these 5 things we are not. Now Upanishad, the student asks, what are we then? Right? He says, not this, not this, not this, not this, all the 5 things we are not that, right? So now the student asks, what are we? Taittiriya Upanishad is the one who describes this whole thing, right? So then in that, student asks, what are we? But at that time, Upanishad is quite silent, right? It doesn't say anything else other than leaving it that we are not even the Anandamaya Kosha. We are not that either. So, but Vidyaranya Swami, he was the one who little bit explained further of that. So if we are not that, what are we, right? So he gave 5 points here. So the first point, he says that I am the experiencer. So there is an experiencer that is not an object. That's why we don't find it, right? So that there is an experiencer, which is, so for that experiencer, our body is an object, our mind is an object, our intellect is an object, our life force is an object. So there is an experiencer, right? So that's what he says. Then he says that when we get a knowledge, there is a what known and unknown, right? Whatever we know so far, right? There is a known, right? We know these, we know everything, what we studied, or we know our with the experience. There are so many things we are unknown about it. We don't know, right? So there is a known and there is an unknown. But on top of this known and unknown, there is a knower, right? So who is missing out of known and unknown? The knower, that is not knowing and knowing things. There are some things that this knower knows, there are something that this knower doesn't know, right? So between known and unknown, there is a knower, there is an experiencer. That's what we are. Got it? Right? So he said that. Then the third thing he says, that he gave an example. When we put, there is a milk, there is sugar, right? So when we put sugar in the milk, what happens to the milk? Milk becomes sweet. When we put sugar in water, what happens? The water becomes sweet, right? So then we mix this, adding sugar to anything, it makes sweeter, right? The same way, if we add this consciousness to any object, it comes in existence. You got my point? When you add consciousness to any object, what happens? To existence. So all the object comes to existence as we, as a body, what we think, comes to an existence with this consciousness. And every object that I see come to a consciousness when I got the consciousness, right? When I can see them, right? All the object can be seen because of my consciousness. You got it? If I don't have a consciousness, will I be able to see anything? All right. The same way, now, can somebody says that, oh, how can we make sugar sweet? Is that a question asked? How can we make sugar sweet? It already is sweet, right? Its thing, existence is sweetness, right? That's how his property is. The same way, the consciousness, you cannot ask who gives consciousness to consciousness. Right? You got it? So that is, it comes with that property to illuminate everything, all the objects. Got that point? So he says that. Then he says, the person who says, I don't have a tongue, it's that shameless when, so what he is trying to say, that the person who speaks will have a tongue. Without tongue, how will he speak? If a person says, I don't have tongue, he cannot, because if he doesn't have tongue, he cannot speak, right? So that's what he was trying to explain, that the existence cannot say that it's, the existence is there. That's why we are able to experience everything, right? And the last thing was little, he just make it that when the debate happens between Shunyavad, that is Buddhism that I was talking about, the Shunyavad means there is nothing after the deep sleep thing, right? Anandamaya Kosha is the end, and after that there is nothing. So Buddhism says there is nothing. We see there is everything in that, right? So that's the difference. So he was saying that if you debate between them and the other person says we are nothing, after that there is dark hole, there is nothing, right? After the deep sleep, then the Advait person will say that if you are nothing, then if you are not existing, then I don't see you, then why do I have to debate you? Like he was just making a joke about it, right? So he said that as a fifth point, that I don't have to debate when you are nothing, then why I am debating you, right? So you got it. So that's what it is. Like when in this shlok, when Krishna Bhagavan says concentrate on yourself, means he's not saying that concentrate on yourself as a body, mind or intellect or life forces, that go beyond that and concentrate on what? Concentrate on self by knowing the self by your intellect. Now we use our intellect to actually explain what is self, right? We cannot explain it other ways, right? Because it's a subject, we cannot explain it any other way. We cannot give it characteristics. We cannot say, oh, it's brown in color, it's black in color, it has this, it has that, it has, because it is not, right? It is a subject, so we cannot explain it. So we can only explain by saying this is not, this is not, this is not, this is not, and whatever remaining, that's what it is, right? So by negation we explained it, what is the self. So when we do meditation, you remember what we do. Initially we do pranayama, we are controlling our life forces, right? When we controlling our life forces, are we thinking that that's what we are, right? We are trying to control it to just move more subtler to the mind, right? Now when we start thinking about that our mind is a garden and there is a flower there and we are putting our deity there, our Ishtadevta there, and placing them in the heart, then what happens is we are controlling our thoughts, the mind, the intellect, right? That's what we are trying to do there, right? But in this shlok, God says go beyond that. Now what you have to concentrate on here, he is saying don't concentrate on your thoughts, don't concentrate on your life forces. That is like he already explained it before, how to do that. Now he is saying that concentrate on what? That you are that consciousness, you are that Atma, that you are that light that illuminates the whole world. Concentrate on that, right? So that's what by knowing it. The important part is here that there are very few people who don't study these things or don't know about these and still can get enlightenment or still can concentrate on self. But for everybody else, we have to study it, right? After studying Gita, after studying all these Upanishads, after studying, we get a better picture of how to proceed to it, right? So you have to use that intellect power, right? It doesn't come by itself. So he is saying that you have to use your intellect here. So God is saying that it's not that you just sit down. This doesn't come naturally, right? You have to work towards it. And that's why you have to study these, to work towards it, to get to the point where we want to be enlightened. Then we have to understand this whole thing. And to understand, we have to use our intellect, right? You got that point? Okay. So going back to our shlok, where was it? So it says that little by little, let withdraw from the external world by the intellect held firm, having established the mind in the self, right? Let him not think about anything else, right? So that's what he is saying. The advancement in the what do you say? Advancement in the meditation. What is he saying? That now you get this knowledge. By this knowledge, studying Vedanta and everything, we get to know what our real self is, and then we do the meditation, right? So, Dhriti Griyatam, right? With held firm, right? Now what happened is, hold that thing, hold this, don't let the mind shift from that grip of holding that. What are you? What is yourself, right? So hold that, focus it on that thing. But it doesn't come slowly. It doesn't come as you're gonna do one day and it will come. No, it will come gradually, slowly. By negating slowly, one step at a time, and then you come to that point, right? Then setting the mind, firm mind on the self, right? So fixing the mind on real self, right? Again, what we say that this is the light that illuminates the whole world, right? That's what we need to think about, and that's how we move in the meditation, further deeper meditation, right? So so we got it. And not let it think anything other than this. So firm settlement on this, we have to keep it, and not let our mind waver, right? So that was slok number 25th. Let's move on to 26th. Is it ready? Okay, let's go 26th. Let's start it at least. 26th, open kar.
Oh, he wanted to read.
Okay. 26th. क्या हुआ? What?
यतो यतो निश्चरति
यतो निश्चरति मनश्चञ्चलमस्थिरम्
ततस्ततो नियम्येतात् आत्मन्येव वशं नयेत्.
Together.
यतो निश्चरति मनश्चञ्चलमस्थिरम् ततस्तो नियम्येतात् आत्मन्येव वशं नयेत्.
Okay. Now next step, right? So yato from whatever. Yato means from whatever. Nishcharati, wanders away. Mana means mind. Chanchala means restless. Chanchal. Astitram means unsteady. It's not steady. Sthira means steady. Asthira means unsteady. Tato, from what? From that, right? Niyambhya means having restraint. Etat means it. Atmani in self. Emam, alone. Ashavam, what happening? Ashavam means control. Vash means keep it in control, right? Nayet means let one bring, right? So if you put all the words together, the meaning comes by whatever cause the unsteady and restless mind wanders away. There are many causes, right? So whatever cause the unsteady and restless mind wanders away, restrain it from that. Let him bring it under the control of self alone, right? So it's very easy that mind is not in control, right? We all know that. That's not a rocket science. We all know that our mind is very hard to control, right? Bring back to the focus. We have to keep bringing back. You remember Pratyahara, that in 8-limb yoga I explained Pratyahara is the 5th step. Like mind keep going away. then bring it back, right? And mind get distracted, right? And what happened? Why this distraction come? Which guna of our distract us the most? Which guna? Rajasic guna, yeah. So Rajasic guna is the one that distract our mind so much. So it says that it goes multiple direction, right? The sight, the smell, the feel, the what do you say? The seeing, the hearing, all these things distract us, right? So this Rajasic, when the passion comes towards the object, the sense object, what happens? Our mind get distracts, right? We feel like the past, the future, the present, the anxiety, the dreams, all these things keep coming, right? So that distracts us. So when it distracts us, you have to bring it back, right? Now there are 3 ways to bring it back. Actually, we started a little late, so we'll go a little longer. So just hang in there.
What do you
Don't pack your bags.
What's that?
Huh?
No, what's that?
No, but you are packing your bags, so I'm saying don't pack. So, Daniel Goodman, he wrote a book of emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
Right. He wrote another book on focus, right? In that in one chapter he explains that what happens is when these 5 stages happens of the focus, right? We're trying to focus, we focus, the distraction happen, the mind goes away, we realize that we got distracted, we're bringing back to the focus, right? These 5 steps he explained, when they scan the neuronal activities in our mind, it changes. Every step has a different neuronal activities. So all these things that we do in long time ago in our scriptures, 5,000 years in our scripture, this was written already. Now when they did the experiment, it is really that all these 5 stages occurs, and every neurological activities are different in these 5 stages, right? So it is that it's effective. That so when we are focusing, we have different neuron. When we are trying to focus and get distracted, different neuron activity starts. When we try to bring it back, different neuron activity start, and we focus back, it's different neuron activity. So that's been proven that what was written was so correct that it happens in our life every day. So there are ways to bring back our focus. There are 3 ways basically given to us, right? So 3 ways to bring it back. That's why I was saying I will finish this topic before I close it. So 3 ways to bring it back. The first is the yogic way, right? The yogic way, as what we are saying, is okay, we bring this object on which we want to focus it, right? So we bring this object, we see that object, okay, let's concentrate on this object, and we are concentrating on that object, and we are trying to bring our focus back, and get distracted, we bring back to the focus on that object, right? A flower, that God is sitting on that flower, our Ishtadevata sitting on that flower, bringing back to that objectifying image of our God, right? So that is the yogic way to bring it back again and again to the awareness. The second way is to whatever, and this is the Advaitic way more, whatever you experience, right? Whatever you are experiencing, you actually bring it back to your own existence, right? So if I am experiencing a music, I can only hear this music because of my existence, right? Because this consciousness or this Atma who gives me the existence, who illuminates my experience, that's why I'm experiencing this music, or I'm experiencing this light, or I'm experiencing this this noise around me, or there is an ambulance going on and I'm experiencing that ambulance. It's only getting experienced because of the existence that I have, right? So bringing back all the distraction that is coming to you, bringing back to that we are in existence, that is, I'm experiencing it that experience, bringing back to that experiencing, that's what you have to bring back to bring the focus back, right? So utilizing that concept to bring the focus back. And the third way, which is more popular and easier, is the emotional way, the bhakti way, right? When you have bhakti in God, we see that, hey, I'm giving everything to God, that emotional attachment that you have with the God, right? If you use that emotional attachment, the love to that God, the deep love for God, and bring that back, that will eliminate all the distraction, right? So that's one way to eliminate all the distraction, is that strong bhakti that you have for God, that God is the one who created this, who is the one who control me, who is the one who holds me, who is the one who gives me everything. If you have that deep love to the God, then you can bring that concentration back to that bhakti emotions, and that's more stronger and most easier to do it. So that's the way, all three things that you can bring back your mind under control, right? So that's it. So we did the slok number 26. Next time we will start with 27. Okay, let's close it together. Vasudeva
Vasudevastam Devam Kaushacharurvardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishna Vande Jagadguru
Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Krishna Arpanamastu. Okay guys, thank you Reha.